If you're over 60, you've probably felt it. That moment when standing up from a chair takes more effort than it used to, when stairs feel steeper, when your legs don't respond the way they once did. And most people think it's just age. But here's the shocking truth. It's not. What you feel isn't inevitable decline. It's a condition called sarcopenia, and it's silently robbing millions of adults of their strength, their mobility, and their independence. Now here's the good news. According to cutting-edge research and the work of Dr. Peter Attia, a physician and one of the world's leading experts in longevity and preventive medicine, your body can start reversing that process in as little as 24 hours. Not with drugs, not with supplements, but with food, with the very first meal you eat tomorrow morning. Dr. Attia calls muscle the organ of longevity, because muscle isn't just about power, it's what protects your heart, stabilizes your metabolism, and even keeps your brain young. Lose muscle and you lose energy, balance, and resilience. Rebuild it, and everything starts working better again. And that's exactly what this video is about. You're about to discover the single most important breakfast change that can switch on your body's muscle-building machinery, no matter your age. This is not a trend, not another miracle diet. It's based on real clinical data and the principles Dr. Attia teaches to his patients and elite athletes alike. Strategies proven to restore leg strength, energy, and endurance, even in people well into their 70s. Because what you eat at breakfast doesn't just fill you, it programs your body for the entire day. And if you get it wrong, you're unknowingly accelerating muscle loss every single morning. But if you get it right, you can start feeling stronger within 24 hours. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll see exactly what this breakfast is, how it fights sarcopenia from the inside out, and why Dr. Peter Attia believes that protecting your muscle may be the single greatest investment in your longevity. Let's get straight to the truth. Most people over 60 aren't losing strength because they're lazy, unmotivated, or just getting old. They're losing it because their muscle cells are literally shutting down, quietly, day after day. The name for that process is sarcopenia, and it's far more dangerous than most realize. Sarcopenia is not just about smaller muscles. It's about a slower metabolism, fragile bones, weaker joints, and a higher risk of falling, the single event that often marks the beginning of long-term disability in older adults. And here's the brutal fact. It starts much earlier than you think. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that muscle loss can begin as early as your 30s, and by your 70s, you may have lost up to half of your original muscle mass. Half. That's like cutting your physical power in two and expecting your body to perform the same. Dr. Peter Attia, physician, longevity expert, and one of the most respected voices in metabolic science, says it bluntly: sarcopenia is the slow death of vitality. It doesn't just age you, it erases your ability to live independently. That's a hard truth. But here's the hope. It's also one of the most reversible forms of aging, if you know what to do. You see, after 60, your body's natural signal to build muscle, something called muscle protein synthesis, doesn't activate as easily as it used to. The on switch becomes sluggish. Your muscles hear the signal, but they don't respond. Scientists call this anabolic resistance, and it's the main reason people can eat protein but still lose muscle. But what triggers that resistance? Poor breakfast choices, low-quality protein, and years of skipping the very nutrients that keep your muscle cells alive. Imagine your muscles as a construction site. You have workers, your cells, blueprints, your DNA, and building materials, amino acids. But without the right foreman, in this case, the amino acid leucine, that job never starts. Dr. Attia explains that leucine is the spark that activates mTOR, the key cellular pathway that tells your body it's time to build. When you don't consume enough leucine-rich protein, especially at breakfast, your body starts breaking down muscle instead of building it. Think about that for a moment. While you're eating a light breakfast, toast, coffee, maybe fruit, your body could be entering a catabolic state, using your own muscle tissue as fuel. That's why so many older adults feel weaker, even when they think they're eating healthy. They're unknowingly starving their muscles every morning. But here's the breakthrough. Studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that consuming 25-30 grams of high-quality protein at breakfast can completely flip that switch, activating mTOR, restoring protein synthesis, and rebuilding muscle strength, even within 24 hours. Dr. Attia uses this exact approach with his patients, combining nutrition timing, amino acid density, and smart movement to reverse years of decline. Because sarcopenia isn't a one-way street, it's the result of signals you can change. So if you've ever felt like your legs are getting thinner, your energy lower, or your recovery slower, that's not just aging. That's your body asking for the right signal. And that signal starts with your first meal of the day. In the next section, we'll dive deep into how that meal, your breakfast, determines whether your body builds muscle or breaks it down. And I promise you, once you understand this, you'll never look at breakfast the same way again. Most people wake up and eat breakfast to feel full, but if you're over 60, your breakfast has a far more important job. It tells your body whether to build muscle or burn it. Think of your metabolism like a switchboard. Every meal you eat sends instructions to your cells. And breakfast? That's the first command of the day, the one that programs your body for the next 24 hours. Dr. Peter Attia, physician and world authority on longevity and performance medicine, says it plainly: the first meal of the day sets the tone for your entire metabolic rhythm. What he means is that your morning nutrients activate or deactivate the pathways that control muscle growth, energy, and even fat storage. Here's the science. When you eat, your body measures the presence of amino acids, the building blocks of protein. If those amino acids are high enough, especially the essential one called leucine, your body flips a biological switch called mTOR. mTOR is the master regulator of muscle synthesis, the signal that says, start building. But when you skip breakfast or eat a meal low in protein, like cereal, toast, or coffee, your body never flips that switch. Instead, you start your day in a catabolic state, meaning your body breaks down existing muscle tissue to use as energy. That's why so many older adults feel fatigued before noon. Not because they didn't sleep well, but because their metabolism was programmed to break down muscle from the first meal. And here's where timing becomes everything. Dr. Attia and other longevity researchers emphasize that morning hours are when your body is most sensitive to amino acids. Your cells are like dry soil after a drought. They absorb nutrients faster. But wait too long, and that window closes. In fact, clinical studies from the Journal of Nutrition show that older adults who consume at least 30 grams of protein within 60 minutes of waking up experience up to 40% greater activation of mTOR compared to those who delay breakfast. 40%. That's the difference between maintaining strength and losing it year after year. Now let's make it practical. Imagine two people, both 65 years old. One wakes up and eats a bowl of oatmeal with fruit, maybe 6 grams of protein total. The other has a protein-rich breakfast, eggs, Greek yogurt, maybe some cottage cheese, adding up to 30 grams. Both start their day the same way, but their bodies go in opposite directions. The first person's mTOR never activates. Their muscle-building machinery stays off. The second person's body flips the switch and starts rebuilding. By noon, one is breaking down muscle, the other is building it. And that difference, repeated every morning, is what defines the quality of life 10 years from now. As Dr. Attia says, longevity is not about how long you live, but how strong you live. Every breakfast is a decision. Do you want your body to grow weaker or stronger? Because it's not just about food, it's about sending the right signal. And that signal starts with what you eat and when you eat it. In the next section, we'll break down exactly which foods trigger this powerful muscle-building signal, and the common breakfast mistake that cancels it out completely. Now that you understand why breakfast matters, Let's talk about what to eat. Because according to Dr. Peter Attia, physician and expert in longevity and performance medicine, the foods you choose in the morning can either ignite your muscle-building machinery or silence it completely. Let's start with what works. The first and most powerful group, complete proteins. These are foods that contain all 9 essential amino acids, especially leucine, the one that flips your muscle's growth switch, mTOR. Top of the list, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, chicken, and fish. These foods aren't just rich in protein. They deliver the exact amino acid profile your muscles crave after 60. Dr. Attia explains that older adults need more protein per meal than younger people, simply because the body doesn't respond as efficiently. The target? Around 30 to 40 grams of protein at breakfast, roughly 3 eggs and a cup of Greek yogurt, or a combination like salmon and eggs. That's not a bodybuilding diet. That's a longevity prescription. Because when you feed your muscles right in the morning, you give your body the materials it needs to build, repair, and stay strong throughout the day. But here's where most people go wrong, and this might shock you. The most common breakfast foods people believe are healthy are often the ones that shut down muscle growth. Think about it. Toast with jam, fruit bowls, oatmeal with honey, granola bars, fruit juice. They sound wholesome, right? But here's what really happens inside your body. These foods are high in glucose and low in amino acids, which sends a signal of energy abundance, not muscle repair. Instead of activating mTOR, these foods trigger insulin spikes. And when insulin rises without sufficient protein, your body stores more fat and continues to break down muscle tissue for energy. In simple terms, you're feeding calories, not function. And the tragedy is that millions of people start their day like this, thinking they're doing the right thing. But they're unknowingly silencing their body's most powerful longevity system. Dr. Attia warns that the combination of refined carbs and low protein at breakfast is one of the fastest ways to accelerate sarcopenia, the very process that steals independence in later life. He's seen it in countless patients, people who eat light in the morning but wonder why their legs feel weaker, their balance worse, or their recovery slower. The truth? It starts at breakfast. Let's make it simple. The foods that activate muscle growth after 60 are whole eggs, Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, lean meats or fish, like salmon or chicken, a small amount of healthy fat, avocado or olive oil, to stabilize energy. The foods that shut it down are cereal toast, pastries or bagels, fruit juices or sugary smoothies, oatmeal with no protein source. Now imagine this. 2 breakfasts with the same calories. 1 plate of eggs and yogurt, another of oatmeal and orange juice. The first tells your body, build. The second whispers, break down. Over weeks, months, and years, that small difference creates an entirely different body. One that's capable, balanced, and alive, versus one that feels fragile and dependent. Dr. Attia often reminds his patients that longevity isn't just about avoiding disease, it's about preserving function. Every bite of breakfast can either push you toward independence or away from it. And in the next section, we'll take this even further, revealing the timing trick Dr. Attia teaches to maximize muscle synthesis without supplements or complicated diets. But before continuing, if you think all this information is helpful, please subscribe and leave a like, as it allows me to continue growing and sharing this information with more people. Now let's continue. Now let's talk about something that can multiply the power of everything we've discussed so far, timing. Because according to Dr. Peter Attia, doctor of longevity and one of the leading voices in metabolic health, what you eat is only half of the equation. When you move your body after eating determines whether those nutrients turn into muscle or vanish as wasted potential. Here's what most people don't know. Your body enters a muscle-building window that lasts roughly 90 minutes after a protein-rich meal. Inside that window, your bloodstream is flooded with amino acids, the raw materials your muscles need to rebuild. But unless you send your body a second signal, movement, those materials won't be used efficiently. Think of it like this. Eating protein is like delivering bricks to a construction site. But without the workers, your muscles contracting, those bricks just sit there. Eating protein is like delivering bricks to a construction site. But without the workers, your muscles contracting, those bricks just sit there. That's why Dr. Attia tells his patients, muscle is built twice, once in the kitchen and once through movement. The combination of nutrients and activity is what activates muscle protein synthesis at full strength. So, what kind of movement are we talking about? Here's the best part. It doesn't require a gym, heavy weights, or long workouts. Studies published in the Journal of Gerontology show that even 5 to 10 minutes of light resistance or walking within 90 minutes of eating can amplify protein absorption and muscle recovery by up to 30%. 30%. That's a massive difference, especially after 60. So here's how to apply it. After your high-protein breakfast, take a 10-minute walk, ideally outdoors. If you can, do some gentle bodyweight exercises, squats holding onto a chair, calf raises, or arm curls with small weights. The goal isn't exhaustion, it's activation. You're signaling to your body, use what I just ate to build strength. This is where the science gets fascinating. Movement right after a protein meal enhances amino acid transport into muscle tissue, meaning your breakfast literally becomes muscle fiber instead of being stored as fat. Dr. Attia often says, nutrition without movement is information without action. You need both for the system to work, and timing matters more than intensity, because past 90 minutes, that biological window starts to close. The bloodstream clears those amino acids and the signal fades. That's why he teaches older adults to build a simple rhythm. Eat, move, build. It's a feedback loop that strengthens every system of your body: muscle, heart, metabolism, and even brain function. And remember, the goal isn't just more muscle, it's better quality of life. Walking without pain, lifting groceries with ease, standing up from the couch effortlessly. That's what this 90-minute window gives you. Not theory, but freedom. Because if you fuel your body and move with intention, you're not just maintaining muscle, you're reprogramming your metabolism to stay young. So tomorrow morning, after breakfast, don't sit back with your coffee. Take a walk, move your legs, let your muscles know it's time to grow. In the next section, we'll uncover the hidden mistake that cancels this process, and how millions of older adults are unknowingly sabotaging their progress every single day. By now, you already know how powerful your morning meal can be. It can rebuild muscle or destroy it. But here's the shocking part. Even people who eat protein in the morning often make a critical mistake that shuts the entire process down. Dr. Peter Attia, one of the world's leading doctors in longevity and performance medicine, calls it the breakfast trap. It's the moment when people do everything right. They eat early, they add protein, but then unknowingly combine it with the very thing that blocks muscle synthesis. What is it? Excessive glucose and insulin spikes. Here's what really happens inside your body. You sit down to a meal that's half protein, half refined carbs, maybe eggs with toast and juice. Sounds balanced, right? But when that sugar hits your bloodstream, insulin rises fast. And high insulin doesn't just store fat, it shuts off the very switch, mTOR, that tells your muscles to grow. Imagine turning on a light switch with one hand, that's your protein-activating mTOR, and then flipping it off immediately with the other. That's your glucose surge. Result? You stay in a metabolic tug-of-war that drains energy and blocks progress. According to research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, insulin spikes blunt muscle protein synthesis by up to 40%, even when enough protein is consumed. 40%. That means almost half of your effort is wasted just because of what you paired your breakfast with. Dr. Attia explains it this way. You can't build muscle in a hormonal environment designed for storage. In other words, when your body is busy storing energy, it's not building muscle. It's one or the other, never both. So what's the fix? Focus on protein-first meals with moderate fats and minimal refined carbs in the morning. Replace orange juice with water or black coffee. Swap the toast for avocado. Add eggs, salmon, or Greek yogurt instead of cereal. This keeps insulin stable, allowing mTOR to stay on long enough to repair and build new muscle fibers. And here's the kicker. When insulin remains balanced, your energy also stabilizes. No mid-morning crash, no fatigue, just steady focus and strength. Dr. Attia often says that muscle growth isn't just about adding more, it's about removing what interferes. He teaches his patients that every bite can either feed performance or feed decline. And what's fascinating is that when people make this one change, removing sugar and refined carbs from breakfast, they report feeling stronger within days. Their legs feel lighter, their morning walks feel easier, and their recovery improves after just 1 week. Because once you stop fighting against your own biology, your body starts to cooperate again. So the next time you reach for that slice of toast or glass of juice, remember, it's not just breakfast, it's chemistry. Every spike, every bite, sends a message. And that message decides if your body builds strength or loses it. In the next section, we'll reveal how Dr. Attia combines this breakfast strategy with micronutrients and hydration to maximize recovery and protect muscle health, especially in people over 60. Now, here's where most people miss the final piece of the puzzle. You can eat the perfect breakfast, you can get your protein, manage your insulin, even move after your meal, and still fall short, simply because you're missing what Dr. Peter Attia calls the silent drivers of muscle function. I'm talking about micronutrients and hydration. Most older adults are not deficient in protein. They're deficient in the minerals and electrolytes that allow muscles to actually use that protein. Magnesium, potassium, sodium. These aren't just salts. They're the electricity that keeps your muscle fibers contracting, your heart beating steadily, and your metabolism firing efficiently. Without them, even the best diet can't translate into strength. And Dr. Attia has been clear about this in his podcasts and research. Muscle performance is as much about cellular chemistry as it is about calories. So, let's break it down. Magnesium. It's the spark plug of your metabolism. It helps your cells convert nutrients into usable energy and assists in more than 300 biochemical reactions in the body, including muscle contraction and recovery. When magnesium levels are low, which happens in nearly 70% of adults over 60, the body struggles to produce ATP, the molecule that powers your cells. The result? Fatigue, cramping, slower recovery, and a feeling of weakness even when your diet seems right. Next, potassium. This is the mineral that balances fluid inside your muscles. Low potassium levels cause muscle cells to shrink and lose their ability to fire properly. That's why so many older adults experience sudden cramps, shaky legs, or heart palpitations. And finally, sodium, often misunderstood. Many people cut sodium drastically after 60 because they've been told it's bad for blood pressure. But Dr. Attia points out that sodium restriction, when taken too far, can actually reduce blood volume and lead to dizziness, fatigue, and decreased performance. He says, the goal isn't low sodium, it's balanced sodium, adjusted to your activity and hydration needs. That balance is key, because every muscle contraction, every heartbeat, depends on the precise exchange of sodium and potassium. So, how do you fix this? You don't need fancy supplements. You can restore these minerals naturally through food and hydration. Here's a simple, Attia-approved strategy. Start your morning with a glass of water containing a pinch of sea salt or electrolyte powder. Add leafy greens like spinach or kale to your breakfast, both rich in magnesium and potassium. Include nuts or seeds, especially pumpkin seeds or almonds. And if you drink coffee, pair it with water. Caffeine is mildly dehydrating, and hydration is crucial for muscle function. It sounds simple, but these small shifts make a huge difference, because your muscle cells can only grow if they're hydrated. Dr. Attia says it best. Think of hydration as the oil in the engine. Without it, nothing runs smoothly. Not your heart, not your metabolism, not your muscle tissue. And here's something fascinating. Studies from the European Journal of Nutrition show that even mild dehydration, just a 1% drop in body water, can reduce strength and coordination by up to 10%. 10% might not sound like much, but in real life, that's the difference between standing up easily or struggling, between walking steadily or losing balance. So before you think you need more protein, make sure your body can use the protein you already eat. Hydrate. Replenish your electrolytes. Keep your muscle cells alive and responsive. Because as Dr. Attia reminds his audience again and again, longevity isn't just about adding years to life, it's about adding life to those years. And the smallest things, a glass of water, a pinch of salt, a handful of greens, can make the biggest difference. In the next section, we'll tie everything together, the food, the timing, and the movement, into one powerful routine that Dr. Attia calls the Morning Longevity Protocol. The formula that can help you feel stronger, sharper, and more alive, starting tomorrow. Now that you understand the science, it's time to put it all together. This is what Dr. Peter Attia, one of the world's leading physicians in longevity and metabolic health, calls the Morning Longevity Protocol. A simple, science-backed routine designed to activate muscle growth, protect mobility, and strengthen your entire body, starting the moment you wake up. Let's break it down step by step. Step 1. Rehydrate and reboot. The very first thing your body needs after hours of sleep is water, not food, not coffee. When you wake up, drink a large glass of water with a pinch of sea salt or a quality electrolyte powder. This restores sodium and potassium balance, improves muscle cell function, and primes your body for nutrient absorption. Dr. Attia often says, "You can't build muscle in a dehydrated body. The machinery simply won't start." Step 2. Build the foundation, your breakfast. Within 60 minutes of waking up, eat a high-protein meal, around 30 to 40 grams of quality protein. Within 60 minutes of waking up, eat a high-protein meal, around 30 to 40 grams of quality protein. Think 3 eggs with a serving of Greek yogurt or salmon with avocado and cottage cheese. Avoid fruit juices, bread, or sugary cereals. They may taste healthy, but they shut off mTOR, the key switch that tells your muscles to grow. You want your body to hear one clear message. Build. Step 3. Move within the 90-minute window. After eating, take a 10-minute walk or perform light resistance movements. Squats using a chair, calf raises, or simple arm curls with light weights. Dr. Attia calls this the activation phase. It doesn't have to be intense. It just needs to happen. Because those 10 minutes tell your body, use what I just ate to strengthen me. Step 4. Support your chemistry. Throughout the morning, focus on staying hydrated. Add potassium-rich foods like spinach or avocado, and magnesium-rich snacks like almonds or pumpkin seeds. These minerals don't just help you feel better. They ensure your muscles actually use the protein you consume. Dr. Attia's patients who implement this step report noticeable changes. Fewer cramps, more energy, better posture, and improved balance. Step 5. Protect the rhythm. The body thrives on consistency. The more often you repeat this morning cycle, rehydrate, fuel, move, and balance, the stronger your cellular response becomes. It's not about perfection, it's about rhythm, because, as Dr. Attia explains, longevity is built on repeated signals. Every small habit is a vote for vitality. So, imagine this. You wake up, hydrate, eat your protein, walk outside, feel the sun, and your body starts to come alive. Day after day, these signals accumulate. Stronger muscles, steadier energy, sharper focus. Within weeks, your legs feel more stable. Within months, your balance returns. And before you know it, the things that once felt difficult, stairs, chairs, lifting, feel easy again. That's not magic. That's biology responding to intention. Because every meal, every glass of water, every walk tells your body one thing: you're still building. And remember, you don't need perfection or supplements to feel younger. You just need the right message, sent consistently. Hydrate, nourish, move, repeat. As Dr. Attia reminds his audience, muscle is the organ of longevity, and every choice you make can either build it or break it. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up stronger, because the science of longevity isn't about waiting to feel better someday. It's about reclaiming your strength, starting today. Let's take a moment to think about what we've just uncovered. For most of our lives, mornings have felt ordinary. A cup of coffee, a quick meal, and the rush of the day. But if you're over 60, those few hours after waking up are far from ordinary. They're a biological opportunity, a window where your body decides whether to age faster or stronger. And that's exactly what Dr. Peter Attia, one of the world's leading doctors in longevity and performance medicine, has shown through years of clinical practice and research. It's not about expensive supplements. It's not about extreme workouts or restrictive diets. It's about sending the right signals every single morning. Hydrate your body, feed it the right nutrients, move with intention. That's how you tell your biology, I'm still here, I'm still building. And here's the truth. When you start your day with strength, your body responds like it's young again. Your muscles absorb nutrients more efficiently. Your energy remains steady. Your confidence comes back. Dr. Attia often reminds his audience, longevity isn't about avoiding death, it's about maximizing life. Think about that for a second. Maximizing life? That means walking without fear of falling, lifting things easily, waking up ready for the day instead of tired before it begins. And all of that begins with a single habit, your morning. Over the past few minutes, we've explored how your breakfast controls muscle growth through mTOR, how the 90-minute window after eating amplifies strength, how hydration and micronutrients keep that process alive, and how avoiding insulin spikes prevents muscle breakdown. These aren't theories. They're the foundations of vitality. So tomorrow, when you wake up, remember what you've learned here. Don't just eat. Fuel your longevity. Don't just move. Activate your strength. Don't just live. Build the body that will carry you forward. Because as Dr. Attia says, the quality of your later years depends on the decisions you make today. And if you've reached this point in the video, it means you care. You're part of the small percentage of people willing to take control of their health, one morning at a time. You don't have to change everything. You just have to begin with water, with protein, with movement. Let your body feel the difference. And when it does, share that story. Tell others what changed for you, because your experience might be the reason someone else decides to take that same first step. Every morning, you get another chance to rebuild, not just muscle, but independence, confidence, and life itself. So tomorrow, don't wake up the same. Wake up stronger.